to admit I have been extremely lazy with my AM blend, but I have been taking it consistently in the last couple of days because I did have a little IBS flare-up. If you follow me on my Instagram, you'll know all about it. Like, look, I would like to say I'm dramatic, but a flare-up's pretty freaking dramatic. If you're an OG here, you would know that I used to suffer really, really badly with irritable bowel syndrome. And it was just literally flared up from any air, water. Anything I ate would just, yeah, it wasn't fun. And if you have IBS, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But now I'm literally not intolerant to any food whatsoever. My last thing on the list was garlic, and yeah, your girl can have garlic, and now I overdo it and put it in everything. Like, shit, it doesn't even need to be in, but it just makes everything taste nice, and I've had to not have it for so long. So no food causes me a flare-up, but I have 2 IBS triggers at the moment, and it's stress, which is like the main one. I think it's always like unconsciously being the main one, and tight clothing, which I didn't really know was a thing, but when I put it on my socials, so many of you guys were like, oh my god, I get these too. I just thought it was all in my head. It's a thing, it's a thing. Anyway, because hashtag bulking, we're not fitting into majority of our clothes at the moment, so tight clothing, it's a thing. Yeah, so anyway, that caused a really bad IBS flare-up. I was in agony pain, was gonna call the hospital, yeah. After my flare-ups, I always just don't feel the best. Like, my stomach is very weak, I'm really bloated, I'm holding a lot of water retention, like my body just, like, it just reacts like crazy when I have a flare-up. So I've been making sure I've been having this every morning, my AM blend consistently, just to help me flush everything out, help, again, prioritize my gut health, because after a flare-up, my gut is quite weak, just like anyone. After a flare-up, your gut is weak. It's basically like acidic going around in your stomach, and obviously that is going to affect your stomach, and that is going to make it more prone for more flare-ups because it is in this weak state. So I am trying to just slowly build that up again, sticking to foods that I know work with my stomach. So this is the first day that I've like felt normal again, which is so good. Like, I'm not feeling as bloated, no water retention, and my stomach is fine, thank fuck. I've just realized that that's not meant to be there. So it's day 3 not having the boys at home. I literally feel like OG Chris right now. I've got my vlogging camera out, I've planned a whole day of vlogging, just you and I, seeing the vlog. Caden's at his mum's for a few days for the school holidays, and Joel, he's on his day shifts, and they're like stupid hours, like 3 AM till 8 PM. Like, he'll be home at 8 PM. So basically it's a whole day that I get to myself. And wow, like, look, after like 3 or 4 days, I'm gonna start to miss him. I'm like, you know, come home. But I have done so much. Like, I cleaned out the cupboards, like the cupboards yesterday, the kitchen cupboards, wiped them down and chucked out everything old. And I've got on top of my washing. Look, any mothers that have more than 1 child, how? You are insane. Like, and Caden's 10, like, he takes care of himself. So I'm gonna get a huge shock whenever, you know, little C has a bubba. I've had the past 2 days off the gym, so I'm so excited to get back to the gym. This morning I've also got to get my other piece for my little microphone. I thought it came with it, but it didn't. You're meant to have like a little black one. I only have a white one, bit big, bit bulky. So no, that's not a vibe. So yeah, we're doing that today. In Sydney, there has been like a breakout with COVID, so it is mandatory at the moment to wear masks in the gym, but I'm just so grateful we can still go to the gym. Look, it's uncomfortable. It ain't pleasant. I am training legs today. I haven't actually looked at my program yet from my coach. I do have a new training split for the next 4 weeks, so I think it's legs. I don't know, Monday is usually legs. It is really smart to kind of like program your big leg sessions, so your bigger lifts after your rest days, obviously because you're more like recovered and stronger after your rest days, because like hashtag rest. But let's do this.
same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, just the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, way up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going on track. Now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong.
Look, I'm not gonna lie, that session was fucked. Combination between not being able to breathe and changing up the program a bit. It was different to what I'm used to. Usually with my leg days, what I prefer is to not superset at all and to just really focus on one exercise at a time. Because your legs are a bigger muscle group, they take so much more time to recover. So I don't like to superset anything, but everything was superset. My legs are already so sore and I am extremely hungry, and I know I'm gonna have one of them hungry days from how hard that session was. I've already had breakfast, a protein bar, an apple, and I'm about to make lunch. My training split at the moment is 3 leg days and then 2 upper body and then 2 rest days. I'm not doing any cardio and I've been really good with my rest. It's something that I hate rest days, but I like perform so much better in the gym. I overall feel so much better. So I am really prioritizing my rest days, and I even have more if I need to. I have done a little bit of a food shop and I thought I would show you guys like our go-tos at the moment, like our go-to meats and like our syrups, our protein bars, etc. Currently my carbs are very high. They're just over 300 grams a day. So I've been having these pastas every day just to try and hit my carbs. This one is so good. So this is a potato gnocchi. I've been saying gnocchi for so long, and yeah, like why has only recently someone pulled me up on that? And then the other one is this like ricotta and spinach. This one I pair with this like tomato based sauce, and then I cook it with like cheese and parmesan. This one I mix with this brand right here. So it's just like a creamy chicken and mushroom, very yum, or this carbonara sauce. If you're wanting more of like a lower calorie option, choose a tomato base and then just top it with like parmesan and stuff. Otherwise, this is really, really, really yum. Then we've just got apples. We go through these like crazy. I don't like, I have been having a bit of fruit. Like I have like berries, bananas in my like protein pancakes, and heaps of apples. I literally have like 2 a day. This is the sugar-free jelly. So you would have seen in my latest meal prep video that Joel is obsessed with these. Look, they're alright for like a little snack. I'm not obsessed with them, but I like to add them onto things. And then these I've only recently just discovered. They are so yum. Sweet and salty. They're like 80 calories, absolutely nothing. Again, I'm trying to get my carbs in. So I'll have like 3 packets. Not really practicing portion control, but something I don't struggle with. So look, wouldn't recommend having 3 packets, but I don't struggle with portion control. I'm just trying to bulk, you know. And then sugar-free maple syrup, the bee's knees. I get this from Woolies. Fuck you, Coles. Fuck you, Coles. Coles is like close to our house, so I've got to go there. But I will literally drive an extra 20 minutes to go do my big shop at Woolies. Don't care. Protein bars. Again, we go through these like crazy. Joel and I have 1 a day. Joel sometimes has 2. Extra lean turkey burgers. No. Yeah. What? Beef burgers. Sorry. Extra lean beef burgers. We also have the kangaroo patties that are really good. The kangaroo patties are higher in protein. These are like a little bit higher in fat, but they're yummier. Like they're so much yummier. Then we've got just chicken, steak, and I'm trying to find a good like alternative sauces and stuff. This is like our go-to bread in the house. We like make burgers and stuff with this, or I just get normal burger buns, but this we always have in the house. But yeah, this is like our go-to, and then obviously we have like other things like fish, oats, yeah, but I already have them at home. I also thought I would show you my go-to lunch at the moment. So it's, actually I'm not gonna tell you, I'm just gonna cook it and you can guess. No, I'll tell you, but I'll wait till I cook it. I'm gonna put this away. And I say I add garlic to everything, I add garlic to everything. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop this in the microwave to lightly boil for just a minute, and then I'm gonna pop it on the fry pan. Shake it up. So I'm actually doubling up on everything because I'll make meal prep for tomorrow. I prefer my barramundi skin off. Majority of my fish I prefer skin off, so that's 140. Okay, your girl needs to shower, but first I wanted to actually sit down and have a little chat. So if you're an OG and you've been following my journey for a while, you know I actually originally started my social media because I was recovering from an eating disorder. I've literally documented since the moment I chose recovery, and you guys see me go through veganism, trying to just basically find what is going to work for me. You guys see me through my irritable bowel syndrome battle, and you guys have now seen me at my stage in life now. I see my YouTube channel as a way to not only express everything I feel and everything I think, but a way to connect and to help people, and that is literally what my health channel has been about. I definitely do have thoughts every now and again where I'm like, oh my god, like should I be this open? Like I'm gonna get judged. But look, if you have a YouTube channel, you're gonna get judged regardless. So I've always kept it real, I've always kept it raw, and that's just how I am. And I will always be here to speak my mind in hopes that someone can relate and feel understood. And that is something that has always helped me, is when someone is feeling a certain way or going through something and I can just relate, and just having that feeling of knowing you're not alone is so powerful and so helpful. I don't really talk much about ED recovery or my recovery journey much on my YouTube channel, just for the sheer fact of I don't really think about it. But personally, through my healing process, I do find it is so important to acknowledge that yes, I've had an eating disorder and I've had addictions, and that's what I kind of associate an eating disorder as, is an addiction. And like any form of addiction, it takes a while to reprogram out of your mind, and you're going to have certain triggers or have certain habits that are going to come into play just subconsciously because of your habitual train of thought. And it just comes down to you of being aware of that. And I just basically wanted to sit down here today and talk about the difference between having a fitness goal and having an eating disorder, and two, my tips towards recovering from an eating disorder. I guess I wanted to kind of shed some light on this topic because I see so many people within the fitness industry that kind of promote things that aren't actually that healthy in a sense, where to them it may seem healthy, but if someone else did see that who may potentially be developing some form of disordered eating, it can really trigger them. And you see it a lot in comp prep world. And a question that I do get asked quite a fair bit is if comp prep is going to trigger my eating disorder. And when you have recovered from an eating disorder, there are so many things that can trigger you, so many. But it just comes down to acknowledging that that is a trigger point and that everything's okay, and to know what your goal is. Because the one thing that really switched my mindset from anorexia was when I actually read a quote. My dad gave me a book and it was called The Power of Now. And within this quote, it said, the more you feed the ego, the stronger the ego gets. And I really related the ego to my eating disorder thoughts. So I still know to this day that if I ever give in to them thoughts, they become stronger. And to me, anything to do with my past with an eating disorder, it signals pain. It signals feeling trapped. And when it comes down to recovery, it's really important to become aware of what freedom looks like for you, and like write it down, like really clarify what that is. And that's what you need to prioritize and work towards. And I know what gives me freedom and what gives me happiness. And I know if I ever do give in to them negative habitual eating disorder thoughts, that it will grow. I know it sounds crazy, but that's literally just what it is with everything, with every form of addiction. The more that you give in, the harder it is to get out of it and to say no further down the track. And that is something that I always look at. To me, with comp prep, with the gym, I see the gym as my savior. And I've always said the best way to get rid of an addiction is by replacing it with a healthier addiction. Because what addiction is it's a sense of control. It's a sense of focus. And as humans, we love to focus on things. We love purpose. And a lot of eating disorders develop because it's a sense of control. You can have control around food, you can have control around your routine and these habits that you have created. And a lot of people who develop eating disorders, they actually have a very overactive mind. And that's not a negative thing. It really isn't. It's just about using it to your advantage. So I now use it with business. I now use it with personal development, growth. I have now been able to occupy my overactive mind so it doesn't need that to feel stimulated. It doesn't need that addiction to feel stimulated. I've swapped needing that to something different. And to me, I'm very goal driven. And my eating disorder had a lot to do with having all these mini goals every single day. And now I make different goals to feeling stronger, to feeling healthier, to building size. Without having these mini goals, I've always found it is a lot harder to control my habitual thoughts. They're a lot louder in a sense, where I can still control them, but they're just a lot louder. So I've known having these goals and working towards something that's been my #1 recovery tool. But even though that I've said swapping a bad addiction with a good addiction is how I've done it, I'm also aware of when an addiction becomes too much and it's actually not serving me value anymore and it's causing me stress. And this is something that is super important to understand, whether you are someone who you're dieting or you're someone who has a certain goal. If it's actually causing you more stress and sadness and negative emotions over good, then that's when the addiction or these healthy lifestyle that you've created isn't actually good. Like, I'm all for working towards a specific goal, whether you are someone who you're wanting to lose a bit of body fat and you're going on a mini cut. That is completely fine, and I feel as though it can be very triggering for those who have had an eating disorder, but it's about not setting any boundaries or barriers for yourself and learning to manage and control your thoughts, because you are 100% in control and you should not live your life in fear of these things are going to trigger you and make you spiral. You should learn to challenge it and to grow from it. And I'm not saying that if you've had an eating disorder, you should go on a diet. No. But what I'm saying is, if you understand that, become aware of certain things that trigger you, don't avoid them. Learn to challenge it. Learn to fight against it and be stronger than it. Eating disorders can come in all shapes, all sizes, all mental states. You don't need to look a certain way to have an eating disorder. If food is causing you stress and you're having so much, like, you're literally revolving your days around it and you're making excuses in why you shouldn't eat out, or you're feeling hungry and you're ignoring that pain, these aren't normal things. Yes, you may have seen fucking Jessica, fitness guru 101 on Instagram, do something like that, but doesn't mean it's normal. If your food plans have changed and spontaneously your friends want to go out for lunch, but you have your meal prep at home and that stresses you out to the point that you're getting anxiety, then again, that isn't normal. Do not need to feel that way, and that's when you should acknowledge that this behavior you've created over time isn't right. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's right. We literally create these thoughts and habits and behavior patterns from being consistent, and then because it's happened over a period of time and we've done it for a period of time, we feel like that's right. But that's when you need to take a step back and actually get inside your head and ask yourself questions like, is this pattern that I've created, these thoughts, are they causing me more stress and sadness than value? And that's when you become aware of, okay, this could be developing into some form of addiction. And the earlier you pull out of it, the easier it is. The longer you're within it, the harder it is. And with eating disorder behavior or any form of addiction, it only gets worse. Like, there's no staying the same. It's an addiction, so you need more and more and more of it in order to feel more. So it's like, you know, for example, a sleeping pill. Someone who's addicted to sleeping pills, one might work for them one night, but their body's gonna need more and more of it in order to feel the effects again. It's the same with an eating disorder addiction. It's the same with any addiction. Your mind, your body, it's gonna need more and more of it to feel that sense of control and stimulation again. So the earlier you cut it out, the better. Even though now I am fully recovered, like I said, I can still notice certain things that trigger me. And I like to challenge them. I really do. Something a few months ago, I really realized that was triggering me that I didn't know it was actually eating around mess. It's something that was kind of, I couldn't do when I had an eating disorder. And for some reason I was getting a little bit anxious when the house was a write-off the other night and we were having dinner, and I just feel like I had to clean first, and I just had this obsession with clearing the space before I could eat. And then I acknowledged, holy crap, that was a thing that I used to actually have and feed into. So I actually challenged it and I made sure I didn't clean. And when you do have an eating disorder that deep, you get to a point where you can't even focus on food anymore. Your addiction goes to other things. And I also had another addiction with time. I couldn't be late and I would always need to know the time, and time would just stress me out. Like, the thought of time would just stress me out. And I know now that I still get a little bit anxious with being late, and I've acknowledged that it stemmed from my past, and to learn to challenge that. Yes, being late can cause a lot of people anxiety, but I acknowledge where that has stemmed from, and to challenge it and, okay, try to be on time, but if I'm not, that's fucking okay. But basically, I just wanted to just talk about some topics that aren't really spoken about, and to just make people aware that it's okay to talk about if you're doing something, you've created this behavior and you're not too sure about it, to just speak up about it and to open up more about what triggers you, and to actually ask yourself what triggers you, because they are huge breaking points. And I am all about personal development. I like to meditate. I like to become aware of what stresses me out and my struggles in order to work on them, and that's just how we grow as people. And I don't talk about my eating disorder that much because I don't like to put a label on it, because as soon as we have put a label on ourselves, we then associate that label as us. But something I learned very early on is I was not born with an eating disorder. No one is born with an eating disorder. It's just habitual habits that have been created over time, like any addiction, and it's just about reprogramming them. It takes fucking time, it does, but work towards it every single day. It's like a goal. Anyway, I'm going to shower, and I did just receive a parcel from Right Away. I wanted to show you their new collection, so let's clean up and do that. So, fun little fact, I didn't actually appreciate good quality activewear until I've started to build some curves. 100%, my body can literally look so different in different type of activewear. I have one of them bodies where I'm very Like straight up, straight down. Not much happening, you know? Hence why we out here building a booty. What I find with this new collection is it kind of just like hugs everything in. That this and Solar have definitely done that. I really, really love their last two collections. This one's called Highbird and it's my favorite one yet, obviously. From the back. I have been so obsessed with these type of sports bras, like halter neck and backless. Look, I was kind of like spewing that Riderwear didn't have any. And then a couple of weeks ago, I did get an email from my Riderwear manager and she gave me like a sneak peek of the lookbook for these new ones. So obsessed. So they are live now. Okay, and I also wanted to show you guys what I've been vibing, because you can like pick and choose and mix and match with Riderwear. You don't have to buy the sets. I love the Solar, like the Solar pants paired with the Highbird crop, and like I just choose like kind of like the same color. Like I've got these, I'll show you. Like, you know what I mean? This is the Highbird crop and then Solar pants. They kind of have the same color. Look, it's obviously not the exact same, but neither is this, and I still feel like it's a vibe. What a vibe. Vibing. I think I've had too much caffeine today. Like my head hurts. You know them feels? That's me right now. I don't know, just too much caffeine. Honestly, I wish you guys could see like my filming area right now. It's in the front room. I've been called out so many times by my postman because we have all these windows here and he'll just come. You should, like, I've got my lights. I've got 3 lights. I've got like 2 cameras. This room is set up for my hauls. I'll show you. Like they just see so much happening 24/7. Like I don't know. Would that be odd as a neighbor? Like, look, these are my neighbors right there. My postman goes right there. By the way, excuse my office. It is a mess. I just have like everything all done up for my next haul. So that'll be my next YouTube video with Princess Polly. I am so obsessed with these pieces. Oh my goodness. Look, the reason why I said that was because my postman was just there. And he was just staring at me and he just like put the parcel down heaps awkwardly. And then just kept staring at me. Didn't know what to do, and I was like, in the middle of filming, we had that awkward eye contact. Yeah, they're used to it. I hope you did like this video, guys. I just really wanted to sit down and have a chat about stuff that's been on my mind as of recently, and I know I get so many questions about that topic, so I love just being able to have a video there, because with all my stories and stuff, it goes after 24 hours. So when I make videos about topics that I literally talk about on my story, not only does it reach a wide audience to help, it's always there. And I just find my YouTube videos are so much more effective when it comes down to helping people and spreading knowledge and awareness on topics that I talk about. So I did just want to make that. Hope you did like this video. Before we go, I did want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of this video. So Squarespace. I've been with Squarespace for the past 3 years now. It is literally the #1 website builder. I love working with brands that are all for supporting people to build their own little online businesses and pursuing their dreams. And that is something that Squarespace has definitely helped me do within my 2 businesses. Not only are my websites developed through Squarespace, but majority of websites that you see and go on, whether it is online shopping or you go on another YouTuber's or a blogger's website, it's probably powered through Squarespace. So like I said, they are good for building websites, they are good for building shops if you're wanting to sell things, they're just a good landing page if you just want one page to sell like an ebook or to have like a blog post about yourself. So yes, having a website is extremely important for building an online business, but just not any website, a simple website, because it is 2021. People get overwhelmed very easily. So if your website is going to be cluttered full of just nonsense, not only is it going to make it harder for people to be located to what you want them to see or to buy, but they're probably just going to exit, like I know I do. And with Squarespace, they do have like certain templates that you can choose from. So you choose your own little design, your scheme, what you're wanting, and go from that, and then just customize it to make it more organic and unique to your brand and your style. I do have my link, and that gives you 10% off your first Squarespace purchase. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.